Hey guys, is that better? Welcome to the channel. Thanks very much for coming by again, or if this is your first time, thanks for stopping in. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. I'll tell you when I've uploaded a new video, and hit subscribe. It's really important. When this is over, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I love answering the comments. I love reading them. And I try to reply to every single one. If I've missed one here and there, I do apologize. I do try to answer everything. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on applique for embroidery. It might be a little long, so take a seat, get a glass of iced tea, water, coffee, whatever your poison is, and take a look. So we're gonna start off with literally from the beginning with Heat and Bond Light all the way through to the end. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get started. Thanks guys, bye. Woo! Okay, so right now I am not really embroidering any kind of shirts or anything like that. I am doing samples. So the samples I'm doing are just, you know, obviously stuff I'm going to have in my shop. So therefore I am not using shirts, which is kind of cool. I would highly suggest this to anybody who is just starting out, or anybody who has a shop that is looking to add new samples. This is just a piece of jersey knit. I got it at Hobby Lobby. I know they carry it at Joann's as well, but Joann's is $12.99 a yard, and let's see, Hobby Lobby was $7.99, but I bought it when it was all, let's see, 40% off. Every other week, Hobby Lobby's fabric is on sale for 40% off. And if you are buying just one piece of fabric, you can use your 40% off coupon. I just happened to stroll in when it was all on sale. So I was able to get this for $5 and change a yard, which is huge because this is 54 inches wide instead of your normal 44 or 45. It's the same thing as Minky. Minky's usually about the same size. Fleece is about the same size. Some of your other like knits that are like patterned and stuff like that people use to make leggings, those are all the same. They're 54 inches wide, which is really cool because when you're thinking about it, you know, you get an extra 13 to 14 inches of length, or I'm sorry, width this way. No, it doesn't matter which way because I cut this into a square. So, but anyways, you can get quite a lot out of one piece of fabric. I cut mine into 15 by 15 squares. It's probably a little large. You could probably get away with a 12 by 12, but I like doing the 15 by 15 because that gives me plenty of room to tuck it under and look nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the fabric we're going to put on this shirt, sample, whatever we want to call it. So I'm just using gingham. Let me get you guys. Hi. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm using my portable, my little mini ironing board that I made. And if you'd like, I can do an easy tutorial on that as well, because I'm going to have to recover this because it's getting old. Like you can see several of the spots, you know, right here. That kind of thing bothers me sometimes. So eventually I'm going to have to replace it all, and I will do a tutorial if you guys want. I don't want to do it and like put you guys through it if you don't want it. So anyways, this is Heat and Bond Light. You can see one side is shiny and the shiny side is bumpy. That's the glue, if you will, the heat activated glue. The other side is just a piece of paper. So we're going to take this piece and put it on here. Make sure you're putting the bumpy side of Heat and Bond Light on the back side of your fabric. Okay, I always put mine pretty side down, right side down. Put this on top. Now listen about this stuff. I always do it, like, I don't know if you can tell right here, I always make it slightly shy of the whatever it is I am doing, because this stuff, you do not want it on your iron. You do not, you trust me, you do not want it on your iron, because it is a pain to clean this off of irons. You have to use like a heavy duty cleaner. You have to get it bursting hot. It's just a mess. And not only that, but it'll get on your ironing board cover as well. So we're gonna take an iron, and now you're not gonna wanna put this on the hottest setting. You're gonna put it on your medium. On some, I wouldn't put it on, if you have like an one that you choose the fabric type, I would put it on wool. I would not put it anything higher than that. I definitely wouldn't put it on cotton, nothing like that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna iron this out. You're gonna iron it onto the back. The heat obviously activates it. And what I do, because I make sure it's just shy, the heat and bond is just shy, I also take it on the front. I like to be very careful, you guys know that, so I iron the front as well. I want it to be super, super, super flat. This is what it looks like. You'll have your right side, pretty side up, and your heat and bond line on the back. Heat and bond, you're just gonna take the back of it and peel just the paper off. You see the shiny side? That's the glue. All right, so now I'm gonna hoop my garment. Now this is gonna be slightly different than how you would do it, you know, because I'm using two things of stabilizer, because the jersey knit is a little on the thinner side. It's not super thin. It's there are some, it's a little bit thinner than your Granimals or whatever that, the Walmart shirts. So in order to kind of counteract that, I'm going to use 2 pieces of stabilizer, which you don't have to do, and most people don't usually do. I wouldn't suggest it on a t-shirt because it's a pain to get off. So what I do is I float it per Pam at Sterling Styles. I learned how to do this from her. So I'm going to take my there we go, sorry. I'm going to take my stabilizer and float it. So that means that you're just going to put this, you're going to hoop your stabilizer instead of hooping your garment. So you're just going to hoop it just like you would normally, just like you would hoop a shirt, a blanket. In Jessica's case, Jessica makes blankets. And by the way, Jessica just started her own YouTube channel. I would highly recommend that you guys check her out. She makes the prettiest, softest, oh my gosh, they're just gorgeous, baby blankets. And she's got a good tutorial up right now about an Amazon haul. Ah! See, this is giving me a hard time today because I'm on camera. If this were just normal, I wouldn't have a problem at all. If I were just doing this myself. All right. So the way I always test it is this. Sounds good. Go ahead and, sorry, I'm not in. Go ahead and tighten it up however yours do. Mine are at the bottom. Most of them are at the bottom. But anyways, I forgot to mention that this machine, I have the Brother VE2300 Excellence. I'm sorry, Essence. I don't know why I'm always saying excellent. It's not it, it's Essence. So it's very similar to the PE 770-800. It's very similar. The difference is this one's much more user-friendly, believe it or not, because the PE 800 is extremely user-friendly. And it goes very fast. Now, not as fast as Pam's Melco, please don't think that. But some of Angela's machines are the same speed, which I was shocked because I like look up to Angela's machines. I can't believe this one. I really expected this one to go much slower than Angela's machines. So I was kind of like, yay, I'm starting to come off like, you know, I got a machine that does as good as Angela's, except it's only a 1 needle. Angela has, you know, multi-needle machines, so. But anyways, we all know that because we all watch her, right? Angela Jasmina. If you don't watch her, you better, because she's amazing. But anyways, because we're floating this, there's nothing holding our garment in. So I just use spray adhesive. Spray it down. Don't like drench it, but definitely get it tight, you know. Definitely get it, you know, good and secure. Then I'm going to take my garment. What would pass as a garment, this is actually, you know, it's my jersey knit, which we talked about earlier. Go ahead and lay it out. And press it down just a little bit, because you may have to reposition it. It may be wrinkled, like this is wrinkled. We're gonna get rid of that. All right. And I'd like to add to this, there are multiple ways to hoop. Just because I hoop this way does not mean that you hoop it wrong. Just because you hoop it a different way does not mean that I hoop it wrong. So hopefully all of you guys that will make comments and like it, or thumbs up, thumbs down kind of thing, will understand that. I'm always open to new ways. So if you have a different way that you think is better, my gosh, leave it down in the comments and I will be glad to try it. All right, so there we are, we're hooped, and I'm gonna put you on hold. I'm gonna actually stop the camera so I can get it positioned and get ready over here. All right, hold on guys. Okay, so I'm sorry about the bad lighting, but I want you guys to see this. So this is my screen, as you can see. Let's go ahead and slide in a little bit. So the way this one works, there's a couple different ways it works. The easiest one I find is to use a jump drive, just like the PE800 and the PE770. So this pops up and tells me what is on that jump drive. So I'm just gonna go in and hit samples, because, so let's go back to the very beginning. So this is what the home screen looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. It's gonna say transmitted by USB. If it's attached to the computer, it says by computer. I have mine set up in folders. In case you guys don't know, I like things super organized. So I'm gonna choose samples, and right now I'm doing Easter. So we're gonna choose Easter, and then I divide it into what I consider applique versus embroidery. Applique is anything with applique, obviously. Embroidery is stuff that is just stitched out with no fabric added. So I'm gonna go to applique, and this is gonna pull up everything I have in that folder. So let's see what we're gonna do. Oh, so sorry guys. We're gonna do the little girl bunny rabbit. Okay, that's what it looks like. This is really cool over here. I love this. This tells me the next step, what we're gonna do, what color we're on, and what color goes from there. It also tells me what hoop I'm on, and it tells me about how big the design is. It also gives me a stitch count, which I'll show you in just a second. So in order to put this into embroidery mode, you come all the way over here and just hit embroidery, and that's going to take you directly where you need to be. Now at the top, it's going to give me a stitch guide and a time guide and a step guide. Obviously the ones in black are the ones that are the total project. The ones in red are where we're at now. Obviously we're at 0 because we haven't started yet. I love this screen. This is one of the huge differences between my machine and a PE800 or PE770. It gives me so much more information here that I can find. It does a lot more things. And I'm like, you guys just don't even know. I am in love with this machine. Love it. So you go ahead and you load it the same way. Sorry for the lighting, guys. I'm trying my best. You load it, you thread it the same way, all the same way. The only difference on this one is that it's going to thread itself for me, which is really cool. I'm actually going to show that. So give me just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and thread the machine, which you guys know how to do, and we'll go from there. Hold on, guys. So we go ahead and load it just like we do. We catch it here, and we come up when we want to slide between this, slide on top of this one, and in between these two. Wrap it around, cut off the extra, and then this is what it does for me. Okay, instead of the manual one, which you have with the PE800, it just does it for me, which is kind of cool. I don't really need that option, but it's kind of nifty, guys. This thing also cuts all of my jump stitches, which is kind of awesome because I can't tell you how many times, it's quite a few times that I was trying to cut jump stitches and I cut into the fabric on top of the applique, or I cut the shirt. So that's actually really handy for me because I'm not very graceful. So stuff like that happens to me all the time. So what I'm doing on this, I normally don't use black thread on this, but I'm using black thread on it so we can see really well. All right. So I'm gonna put you guys back up in the tripod and we're gonna go from there. Hold on. One thing I forgot to mention on this one, you have to have the needle in a, not the needle, but the presser foot down. So there is a button for that. You go ahead and put the presser foot down and then it will allow you to embroider. So here we go. Hands away. You guys know what happened last time I had my hands in it. It was not good. You guys know it was not very pretty and ended up with a trip to the emergency room. Sorry guys, I kicked it, I'm so sorry. All right, so this is called, actually I don't know what this is called, an outline stitch. I really don't know what this one's called, I'm sorry. But basically what it does is, I'm gonna pull this out and show you. It gives me a stitch line this gives me a guide with the stitch line where the applique needs to go. Now I do know that this is white on white, but a lot of bunnies for Easter are white and not a whole bunch of people want brown or gray. They want the white. It shows up the best. It shows all the features really well. So that's what we're gonna do this time. Just in case you're wondering why I'm doing white on white. I normally don't do it and I'm not a big fan of it because as you can see, it's not all that great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, and the next stitch is called a tack down stitch. It's gonna stitch out exactly the same, and that's gonna show me where to cut. So hold on just a second and we'll go there. Okay, hang on. Okay, as you can see, we did the tack down stitch. Some people are able to cut around it in the hoop. I am not one of them. I'm just not that good at it yet. So what I do is I go ahead and cut around. So let me talk about that for a second. We've got two different scissors here that I use. Sorry guys, let me see. So the orange ones are Fiskars, and if you can see, they are curved just a little bit. Just a little bit of curve. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. The second one that I use a lot is this one. It's just really small. It's curved as well. And then one thing that this one's got that the Fiskars doesn't is a super, 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 let me see if I can get it in focus. Dun, dun, dun. Let's try it this way. There we go. Got super, super sharp tip. And I use this for like in this area right here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a super sharp angle, like a right angle. And sometimes when you're cutting with that, you cannot get in there very well. So I use these for that. I do not use them all the time because they are super sharp, and I am afraid of it, and you're gonna laugh all you want, but I'm afraid of cutting all over because they're so sharp. I'm afraid I'm gonna go in and cut the garment as well. So I do use the orange ones more. And like I said, I just use the ones for the sharp corners, getting into little tiny pieces. Like I'll use them here and here, here and here, and maybe up here. So the really important thing to do and know about this one, do not cut these stitches. Don't cut them. If you do, don't panic. As long as you don't cut like from here to here, you're okay. Like if you cut like a teeny tiny size, like the size of this little bit, go ahead and try to stitch it out. Sometimes it will catch it when it does its satin stitch, which is that really thick, pretty stitch that goes around all the appliques. And sometimes if you've cut it too bad or too long, it might not work. However, this one's going to work. You see how this is kind of bubbly right here? That was my mistake. I don't know what I did wrong there. That's not true. I know exactly what I did wrong. This was heated up on too hot of an iron, and it left it kind of warped. This is not a shirt that I'm sending out to somebody. This is a sample. So I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna iron it out and see if it gets rid of all the bubbles. If this were a shirt going to a customer, I would start all over. I would pull these stitches out with a seam ripper and go from there. It's a little messy and it's time consuming, but a lot of people, like, I will not waste a shirt on that, a $5, $6 shirt, because that cuts your profit. Literally, it cuts it almost in half. Actually, that's not true. It's more than that. So I will pick it out and try my best. I did that earlier today and it worked perfectly. You just have to take one of those sticky rollers and get all of the threads out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out off camera. I don't want this to be like an hour long video. Cut it out after camera and change my thread to white, and we will go from there. All right. Okay, you know, we were just talking about not cutting stitches. Here's a good example. I cut my stitches. There we go. You can see it right there. I cut 2 stitches. And this is where I'm talking about, don't panic. Do not panic. That on mine, that little piece, it will cover. The satin stitch will cover it, okay? So, you know, if that happens, don't stress. You know, I'm not stressing over it because I know through experience it will get covered. So hopefully you can take that little bit of advice and feel better. Okay, I'm gonna get started now on the ears. As you can see here, it's telling me where the next one is. If it ever comes into focus. There it goes. See the ears? And that's going to tell me where to lay down the pink fabric. So hold on, guys, and I'm going to lay the pink fabric down, cut it out, and then you'll see it. Hang on. Okay, so that's the satin stitch on the middle of the inside of the ears. Okay, you see that super thick stitch? Oh, you might have, there we go. You see it here, 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 and here. Now don't panic if it doesn't do all of it, because this is going to be done with white. When I go in and do the white, it'll show you. So I'm going to do a small, like, work with me. I'm going to go ahead and put it in fast motion, because if not, we will be here for another 11 minutes. You don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in, and what it's going to do is going to outline all of this in a very thick white stitch, just like this. And I'm going to then change the thread. It's going to do the face, like the eyes, the little bit of the smile, and all the whiskers. And it's going to then do the nose, and then it's going to do a name down here. All right, so I'm gonna put you guys in fast forward and we will go from there. Alright guys, that's it. All done. How cute is that? I think it's adorable. All right, so we've gone over the basics. I'm going to do a video, a tutorial on how to do pictures and how to fold it and how to do all that good stuff. So if you have any questions or comments, let me see if I can get me in it. Hi. That's a little close, right? Still a little close. Hey there. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you guys have any sort of tutorials that you're wanting to see, leave them below. I have gotten a tutorial request on a taggy blanket, which is one of the things I make for my baby store. And I've gotten a request for a bow, like a bow tutorial, which I'm gonna go ahead and do too, because I'm gonna do these shirts with a bow, and then I'm gonna sell the bows by themselves as well, and shirts by themselves as well. I am not doing tutus yet. Might be a while before I do them. I want to master my new machine first, because some people do buy just the shirts. So if I start to notice that it's not working out very well, I'll probably add some tutus. So like I said, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.